Hey there. A few days ago, I uploaded a selfie on my Facebook profile, and in the description, I wrote this, and I will read. I have my iPad here. Many women in midlife and beyond don't share their wisdom on social media because they don't like how they look. That especially applies to women who have been through trauma. Then it doesn't matter how they look. They are blocked by their self-perception. As a rule, trauma destroys self-confidence. Trauma induces shame. Abuse induces shame because it traumatizes. So it is important to get out of that state. It won't happen overnight. You'll need to take baby steps so that your nervous system adjusts to the new, healed you. It's important to do it gradually so that you feel safe. One thing you can do is take a picture using a filter like I just did. I'm not wearing any makeup here. The filter will fix the blemishes on your skin. Then post that photo. Then repeat the process so that you get used to feeling this is normal. You'll probably get to where you'll feel you don't need filters, but you are not there yet. Don't worry about what others will say about it. They don't understand, and you don't have to explain. It's important that you know you're doing this to heal. I made this picture on another platform. Then I downloaded it and uploaded it on Facebook. It's because in 2019, Meta removed effects mimicking plastic surgery to focus on mental well-being and ban harmful beauty-related AR. While they probably have legitimate reasons, I feel they don't understand the audience I'm speaking to and the trauma healing aspect I'm speaking about on my social media spaces and podcast. Talking about the podcast, I just interviewed a guest who addresses somewhat the same issue. Her name is Leslie Hocker, and she talks about health and longevity and gives beauty tips for women in midlife and beyond. Leslie Hocker has built brands, coached leaders, and helped entrepreneurs create legacy businesses across the globe. Early in her career, she became one of the youngest female executives in the petroleum industry. Then she pivoted to launch Houston's first Pilates studio. She's a certified NLP trainer with Tony Robbins and a lifelong advocate for personal development. Now, Leslie mentors purpose-driven entrepreneurs with her husband, a doctor of pharmacology. Leslie is also the founder of the Youthful Aging movement. Her mission: help people lead with heart, scale with integrity, and build a business you are proud of. And then people started pitching me and wanted to be interviewed. And that's how I started interviewing people.
Great.
So yeah, but previously I had the business that I started here in the United States was based on my background in linguistics. I started creating courses, online courses. So I was thinking, I'll just try this out and see how it works, because I had businesses before in Latvia, but I had to do something here. And I was thinking, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anybody. I had no contacts. So I was thinking, okay, the easiest thing is to start it online because I don't know anyway. And that's what you probably can still track on my social media channels. But I'm pivoting after this, and it's really about communication. I've been in public speaking space, and I've done interpreting for diplomats and all kinds of business people and
Wow.
workshops, and I've been all about all kinds of speaking. And that also, languages means memory training, and that's why I'm interested in brain science and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah. So my husband is a doctor of pharmacology by training. And one of my brothers, I'm the oldest of five, one of my brothers, his doctorate is in, I think, chemical physics, but that's like his undergrad is chemistry, biochemistry. And so for probably the last 20 years, we've been literally biohacking ourselves and studying and reading. But I actually started studying wellness when I was young, because when I was a teenager, they knew so little about health and wellness that they were giving us an iron supplement
Mm-hmm.
that was created for old people
Mm-hmm.
for energy. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're swimming 10 miles a day, you're tired all the time. And so I wanted to figure out ways that I could have more energy. And that started a passion or a advocation for all things wellness. So it's funny because I just had my annual labs,
Uh-huh.
and my biological age came back 14 years younger
Oh,
than
that
my
is amazing.
chronological age. And I just had the update with the uh, physician, and she was asking me several things, and I was telling her, and she said, "Oh my goodness, you're teaching me stuff." So I'm thinking, there's just it's a very fast moving. I mean, science has
Yeah.
changed, and so I'm blessed that I have two other people with me. The
That's
14 years younger in your biological age, that was like, I was thinking 10, but
uh,
20 would have been great. But I think 14 was pretty astounding. Side. Well, I do have good skin. I mean, the skincare breakthroughs, science breakthroughs are like amazing. Lots of new stuff with plant peptides and plant stem cells.
mm,
And I will tell you that I'm not wearing foundation. And I was a
mm.
lifeguard and a swimmer, and I had a lot of discoloration. So I've done great, great for my skin.
Oh, that is awesome. I do wear foundation, but I am also blessed that I don't have, bags. I have never
Yeah.
had bags or anything. I do
Mhm.
have the how
Crow's
do you call
feet.
it? Yeah, crow's feet. But I think that some people
Well, I
like
mean, it's my goal is to look fresh, not
right.
frozen.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I've never done any procedures.
Yeah,
I've
and
never,
I think it's kind of nice to
and
have
it's,
you
I
smile a
think,
lot. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah, I had fun when I renewed my passport a few years ago, because I had started using in 2011 a new day and night cream with science and some patents in it, patented ingredients, plant-based. When I renewed my passport, they made me drive downtown Houston to prove they wanted to see my face, to prove I'd sent in a current photo. I laughed. I thought my
Oh,
husband was joking when he said they won't give me your passport. They want to see you in person. I was like, okay, because no one looks the same or younger after 10 years.
Leslie, I want to be you when I grow up.
Well, you can be. I mean, here's the real truth. In my lifetime, the age that average age people live to had increased and increased and increased, and now it's been going down. And I think that's because people are trying to rely on not investigate for themselves, but in reality, 120 to 140 is what we should be living towards.
I was going to ask you about this. Like, I was thinking that I will hear what you say, and I was going to ask you this question because I saw what I did was, because we just got to know each other
Right.
basically through John. I looked up your name and I saw where you have given interviews. And of course, I didn't have time to listen to all of them, but I was looking at the headlines. And the three that stood out to me because of the topics that I discussed on this podcast, where number one was how to be a power couple with Ron Forster and
Oh,
Leslie
yes, that's my
Hocker.
husband, Ron Forster.
And I
Yes.
think it was the interviewer was John, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, we did that a while back. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, working together with your husband is a whole different
Yeah,
experience.
I discussed working not exactly with a husband because I'm divorced,
Yes.
but just with somebody who's close to you or a family member, because now my son, as I shared with you, my son is helping me, and we have a good working relationship because I don't know if that's the reason, but he gives good feedback, and I think it's very important that I can give feedback to him and he can give feedback to me.
Yes. There's a mutual respect. And so the part of the reason why it works that Ron and I are able to work together is we both met when we were very successful already in our field.
Mm,
So our profession of direct sales, both very high level. So you come together with the respect of if we disagree, it's not about you, it's about the issue. And
right.
we had a lot of conversations about it to begin with and work to put safeguards in place to say, hey, you're great. I think we could do this differently. So,
Mhm. And I would like to talk about it more because this is, like I said, the topic that one of those topics that I was interested in. And
mhm.
then the other one was what you just mentioned. There was a headline, living to 140.
Yes,
And
science actually shows that that is doable.
I have a story, one of my funny stories, where after my trauma or whatever happened, like there was an event that
Life, yeah.
happened way back when. It was on my 50th birthday. And I thought, I have done everything wrong and now it's going to go downhill. But then I started to look at life expectancy calculators, and they gave me something like 80 something, and I was thinking, so I only have 30 years to live. And it felt so depressing, but then there was just some process that I went through. And I saw that you have done NLP. So it's basically
Yes.
kind of like I saw some signs, and you know how we can pre-program ourselves, and our brain just uh, likes simplicity. And if you think that you have seen a sign, I thought I can tell my brain that I will live till 111. And I have a funny story. I'm not going to go into details right now, but for the longest time, people thought that I was crazy when I was sharing this story that I would live till 111. And I even had a podcast episode where I celebrated my half life at 55.5.
Oh, I love that. I think that's a great idea. Ever since I met Ron 30 plus years ago, he has always said, now remember, he's clinically, medically trained. He's always said, I'm living to 150.
Oh,
He has said
nice.
that. And I've kind of gone, well, I don't know about that, but let's do 140. But there actually is, there's plenty of research. And, I grew up, people, it's never too late to start because my father had an ischemic stroke, which is very, that's a tough one in his late 76, 77. And my mother was 75 at the time. And I went because I own my own business, I just took my laptop, my cell phone, and I went to help my mom. And when I've stayed there for about 3 weeks, and then the physical therapist says, okay, he's done. Like he could dress himself and feed
Okay.
himself, and then gives my mother exercises for him to do. And I'm like, oh, I know that's never happening. Like
Mhm.
she's, that's not fair, really, in reality, and not reasonable. So I tell my brothers and sisters, I'm gonna get dad a personal trainer. And they're like, you're crazy. So I found a guy that was a physical therapist and also physical therapy background and also personal trainer. And he agreed to take my mother.
Mhm.
Now, my mother had always walked 5, 6 miles a day, and I think was it jazzercise, which I never did, but it was some crazy something like that movement, but never weights. And so he said, well, I'll train your mother at the same time too. So 2 for 1. I
Yes.
said, great. And turned out, I laughed because at the time it was on my vision board to have a personal trainer, and I get one for my parents instead. Thankfully, I'm, successful enough to do that, but at some point, I do teach women you have to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
But all my brothers and sisters chipped in the second month, which made it easy.
Yeah.
$500 a month, $100 a piece. My mother loved it. After my father passed away, she continued on with that personal trainer for 24 years. And so my sweet mom just passed away at almost 102 with no health issues, no,
Oh.
medical issues, just her body gave out.
Mhm.
But you can, so at 75, so she's actually part of why I think all of us in our 40s go through I'm done working out, taking care of I mean, I was really good being an athlete in my 20s and 30s, and
Mhm.
somewhere around 40 it's like, I'm so over this working out
Mhm.
and stuff. And I went for about close to 10 years, and then my mom came to visit now because of course she had been doing the training, so she wanted to go to the gym. So you go to the gym, and she's 30 years older than me, totally, she's in her 80s, pumping way more than I can because I haven't been
Oh,
doing anything.
I love that.
And so it's like, I better get back in shape. And then a big aha moment was probably 10 years ago. One of my friends who's a doctor, we were talking about my mom. She was still living alone, 97. And his comment was, if you can get up and down off the toilet by yourself, you can live alone. And that's when I laughed and said to my current self and my future self, okay,
Yeah.
squats are my friend, lunges are my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's really, it's what you were just saying about NLP. It's how do you talk to your future self? How do you talk to your current self? So I just tell myself when I don't want to get up and move that my future self will thank me and be happy.
Absolutely. Language is so powerful.
Mhm.
And podcast is like a mirror or a coach, I would say, because when I listen back to my language, I see how I have progressed.
It's a wonderful thing. So I'm very blessed to have had a very strong mother that was told us stories about being in the hospital because a lot of children my age, they had Rise syndrome, I think it was called, because they gave women aspirin in the hospital when they were pregnant.
Mhm.
And my mother would tell us, oh, I just put it in my mouth and waited till they went out of the room and then spit it out.
Mhm. Well, it sounds like we have a lot of things in common. I wouldn't say things, but what would be like themes in common?
Attitude, perspective.
And mother. My mother has
Mm,
a huge role. She was a physiotherapist, but she's also someone who is like lifelong learner, and she makes my father to walk every day. And just like 3 years ago or so, they still walk like 10 kilometers a day. Now they can't, maybe 3 kilometers, which is, I
yeah.
don't know, a couple of miles or so. But yeah, they go out every day for a walk. Yeah.
So a huge key for longevity, which is very simple, is literally just moving.
Mhm.
I would say 20 minutes is ideal, but 10 minutes a day. But even for people that are stuck in an office or sitting at a desk, is research came out probably 9 months ago, 9, 10 months ago, that shows if every hour you get up and do like 10 squats, like
Mhm.
8 to 10 times a day, and that is it. What does that take? A minute?
Yeah.
Maybe two, depending on how slow you are, or less if you're faster. That doing those squats has the same effect as walking for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and because I understand Russian, because I also watch some Russian news, I want to see their opinion about what's going on, with all the situation in the world. So they feed me some Russian videos as well. And I saw there was a 97-year-old Russian woman who was showing what exercise she does daily, and squats was one of them. And she does
Yes.
30 at a time
Yeah.
on top of so many other exercises that she does. And she demonstrated in that little hut where she lives, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So I have to laugh. There's so many videos now that if you're over 50, do these 5 exercises. And I'll watch them because I'm curious. And then I'm like, it's yoga. Just do yoga.
Mhm. What
It's
exercises?
and
I'm curious. What you do squats? What else do you do?
uh,
You
uh
do any aerobic exercises or not yet?
no. Oh,
Not
do
at
I?
all. Yeah.
I will before. So as my in between, I live in an area called the Woodlands, which is I have 200 miles of hike and bike trails.
Hmm.
So I go out with light hand weights and walk a couple of miles. Just or if I'm not having a great day, I get up and go outside. And
Yeah.
so it's it's nice living in an area where you can be around nature. But I do weights, and then after I'm done with the weights, I'll do like a what's called a 5 minute hit. Are you familiar with a hit? High intensity interval training.
Uh, uh,
Where
you mean running, sprinting?
Yes, but I'll do it on like an elliptical. So
Okay.
it's like very simple, 30 seconds as
Yeah.
hard as you can go, 30 seconds, half
Mhm.
speed.
Yeah,
And
I go to the Y and I sometimes do that, but more often I do go outside and I do that outside, outdoors, because also I know how important light is
yes,
for our
yeah,
circadian rhythms and all that, and just fresh air. So I try to do that twice a
it,
day outdoors. I wouldn't run every day, but at
no,
times I will.
because of the swimming, my joints are hypermobile. And
Mhm.
so running doesn't work on my knees or my ankles.
Mm.
So I have too much flexibility. It doesn't work. But I'll power walk is really what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Walking fast with weights to get the cardio up. And really, at 50 and over, it's zone 2 cardio anyway. It shouldn't be full out, flat out run. And a lot of women, it was interesting. I do have a personal trainer now, and I
Mm.
was talking to him, and he was talking about the women that'll come in and they do every cardio class and every body pump class, and they still, they never lose weight. And it's you, you don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
In fact, it's counterproductive.
Yeah. It increases cortisol too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and that was in my blood test that just came back. My cortisol levels were all normal. I was like,
But for people, we have this wonderful chat and we are getting to know each other. But for people who are listeners and who are not joining us and who have not had any business or anything, uh, I'm trying to think how we can make it helpful for them to really, really feel into that they can start. And one thing that I have noticed is that they think, oh, this is not possible for me. It's possible for them because for whatever reason they were in a better situation, or I don't know, just there
are
were
you talking about
coincidences.
are you talking about starting a business or starting a health journey or what?
I am talking about business
Okay.
because
So
yeah, I'm trying to
here's
yeah.
here's what's confused. It's very interesting because I have the certification in NLP and a certification as a trainer. And then I was doing next level growth coaching for a period of time. And someone asked me, this is long before life coaching. I mean, when I started, long before there was anything called life coaching. And it's interesting because someone asked me, so when did you get your certification for life coaching? I'm like, experience. So I would just say to people, find someone, well, truthfully, Ilsa, that the internet has, find someone you resonate with.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of people that I enjoy listening to and I go through phases, but find someone, there's a difference between a coach and a mentor.
Yes. Mhm.
So a coach is someone that has learned how to be a coach and can coach you. Mentor is someone who has already walked the path that you want to walk.
Yeah, coach would
And
be for a certain skill, and mentor would mentor you long term, I would say.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then I love the space of direct sales because it takes people and helps them with like a very low, like under $100 investment for most cases. In mine, it's like $20, and helps them learn how to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Teaches them the skills, how to plan, how to set goals, and and the slight edge. So
Let's zoom in on this a little bit and break it down because John started discussing this, but then when I watched the video, I thought we could have zoomed in even more. Maybe you can now help my audience with that. What exactly does that mean?
uh, you mean, what does it
What
mean?
what what would it look like if somebody was sitting and watching us or listening to the audio? So
And they
how,
said, I want to start a business.
yeah.
Well, I think, it's, gosh, that's a great question. What I do is I've found there's five key things in my space for a legacy business. And they don't teach you this in business school. That's the challenge. So one of the first key things I learned was timing. And I'll share with you, it's funny because when I tell people, oh, yeah, I started the first Pilates studio in Houston, everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I'm like, it was in the 80s. No one had heard of Pilates. So, one of the things that I learned was just because you love something, or it doesn't always mean the timing is right. And if you're educating people to a need, you're not making money, you're educating. And then if you could get in on a place where you may be doing a little bit of education, but there's a demand. So the timing for Pilates happened much later. So I opened my studio in 84. I ended up turning it into a women's workout studio, not Pilates specific. But 10 years later in 94, my youngest sister said, "Oh my gosh, I just saw that Pilates is the hottest exercise in Hollywood and New York, like California, New York." And I started laughing. I said, "I live in Texas. I'm in the middle of the country. No one's heard of it. No one's heard of it yet. I was way ahead of my time." So timing
Yeah.
in business. People to mentor you. That's really the biggest key. People that you can connect with, that will guide you. Really, that's what, most Gen Z is looking for, someone to guide them and help them and work with them.
Mhm.
And then unique products
Mhm.
that can't be copied. So a good example of that is I think it was on Dr. Oz went on Oprah and they were talking about acai berry, and there was one company that had an acai juice drink and they went to 1 billion in sales. But as soon as that happened, it went boom because it was at Costco, it was at
Exactly.
Sam's Club, it was at Vitamin Shop. It was easy to copy. So
Yes.
it's that balance of finding a unique product that has real science and results and demand, and people are looking for the benefits, the results,
Mhm.
uh, that can't, be copied because it's got patented ingredients or proprietary formulas and custom formulated. So, in the skincare arena, what most people don't realize is there are let's see, there are 182 beauty companies roughly that are actually owned by 7 companies. So
Mhm.
what people think is an independent brand really isn't an independent brand. And it's it's eye-opening, it's fascinating, and people wonder why they buy products from this celebrity and it doesn't work, and they go over here and buy from another celebrity, it doesn't work. It's because it's white
It's
labeled. This is they
it's the
just
same.
they
Yes.
just take a product, go to a manufacturer and said, "Please make me this and let's put my label on it." And it's
Yeah.
such a disservice. So for me, when I'm sharing with people is I'm sharing that, a founder-led company. And I actually founded the youthful aging movement, since you've seen some of those videos, which and I got interviewed by Top Doctor because of that lifestyle movement, youthful aging. But, you know, finding a true independent brand that'll stick to science and not skimp, or not, what's the word, not cut corners.
Mhm. Can you
How to
please, yeah, can you please give an example of what you mean by share results so that people clearly understand what that is? Like, what is a product? Like an example.
um well, when I say that, when people ask me, "What do you do?" I
Mhm.
literally pull up my phone and just say it would be easier to show you and tell you. So and then I just show them before and after photos. So in
And
independent clinical trials, that's like 4 weeks. And I actually have over there 8.5 by 11s that I normally
and
travel
for
with. I have my own photos.
and for
So
people who
share.
are just and for people who are just listening, Leslie just show a picture of her face before using a product and after using a product. That's what she means. Because
That's my eyes. Look at that. So if you're not
yes.
if this latest project that I'm working with builds collagen in the skin by 1,223%. So as you get older, you actually start losing collagen in your 20s. Most people don't realize that. That's why you hear about it so much now, and people are taking it internally, which is great. But to have something, so as you get older, under your eyes, you lose the volume around here. I call it the droopy dog look. I had that. I'm not making fun of other people. I'm making fun of myself.
Yeah.
Uh, it's, it just is. And so I was pretty excited to have something here for those that aren't, you could see the difference around my mouth
Mm-hmm.
area. So I just show people, but
Yeah.
before and after photos. So it literally, what I do sits right in the middle of social selling, which is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It sits in the middle of the gig economy, and it sits in the middle of e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And e-commerce is, as you know, it's projected, I think over the next 10 years, like 90% of stuff will be online. So it gives, what I do gives people a way to enter being a business owner, to learn how to um, run their own business with materials and training provided, and then coaching and mentoring, and with products that people can't get anywhere else. That's the key.
Okay. So, and to try to explain even for
More.
those people who I have another avatar who is
Okay.
who is an immigrant and who also her language is not her English is not her first language and maybe not the
Okay.
second language. Let's say that let's explain gig economy.
Oh, okay. Um, I wonder how that term came about. The gig economy is like a side job,
Hmm.
uh, except it's not really a job, because what I do is people just determine their own flexibility, like when they want to work. So it's not a part-time job, it's a part-time business where you are able to earn additional income on the side. And I would say that um, the challenge has become, like, Uber is considered a side gig. Um, what else is considered a side gig? Having an Airbnb is considered a side gig, but those require you to spend money constantly. And so with upkeep or gas or all of that, and what I do is people literally can work from their phone or their computer, but work from their phone with mobile app that is provided with materials, graphics, etc. So that if you decide that you could spend, I would say the average spend time is 10 to 12 hours a week. I have people that do 5 to 8,
Hmm.
but 10 to 15 is better,
Hmm.
and 20 is even better. But that's the equivalent of if you had a part-time job, but you get to pick your hours. Like if you have a child that takes a nap from what, 12 to 3 or 2 or an hour nap, it's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And we teach people, or I do, how to plan their time, how to do time blocking, all those things that people hear. It's not as complicated as it sounds, but it is the slight edge. And I'm blessed to be mentored by a man by the name of Jeff Olson, who wrote the book, The Slight Edge. And that's the philosophy that drives success in health, in life, in business. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join me for this interview, Leslie.
Oh, you're very welcome. And one of the things that I forgot to tell your audience is I can give them a free 15-point AI skin scan so they can know what their skin needs based on science. So I'm happy to do that. So I look
And I
forward.
and I will put all your contact information in the show notes and under my YouTube videos. Or if you
Right.
want to share that right now, go ahead.
Well, people can go to lesliehocker.com. That's Hocker. Well, it's LESLIEHOCKER.com. And if you put your info in, I'll send you that how to have confidence in business. And if you let me know on either Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, I can also send the free AI skin scan, and I'll give you the link for that as well. So
And
you
this,
can put it in the
and this is
notes.
also for people who maybe don't yet know if they want to start a business, but they are just interested in the product that you
I
talk.
Yes, I would welcome that, and I'd welcome having a conversation to help you decide what the best type of business is for you. It may not be what I'm doing, but I think it is. But if you want to have fun and you want to make a difference, I'd love to work with you.
Thank you so much, Leslie.
All right. Thank you.